Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. This is Barbara. Today I'm here to do part 3 of my journey with metastatic breast cancer. And what we're going to talk about today is going to be my meeting with the nurse, or your meeting with your nurse or nurse practitioner, of the information that they turn around and they give you before you go in for your first chemo treatment. It's a little bit more involved. They kind of want you to be aware of what is going on before you get there. This is also the time that you're going to get a lot of information, so I would suggest that you bring a notepad so that you can write down the information as provided for you. Also, it's a time that you can ask questions as far as what's involved with your treatment. Now, I'll tell you right now, most of the time, as far as what to expect, they're not going to give you a lot of information as far as what you're going to go through during the chemo process, because it's different for everybody. Now, I have a girlfriend that went through the same type of, not same type of breast cancer, but a very severe breast cancer thing while I was going through this. And in the very beginning, she got a couple of the drugs the same as I got. And how she reacted was totally different than how I reacted. So that's why I think that they're a little bit wary about even saying to you, this can happen, or this is something that maybe you'll experience. So when I went in and I met with her, she went over pretty much everything. My medicines that I was going to be getting from the doctor, the whole procedure as far as that the first visit and the second and the third and the fourth are going to be your longest visits and when you're receiving the chemo. Now those visits, she told me, were going to be every 3 weeks, and this is the time when you're going to get your red devil. Some people don't get it. If you have a bad form of cancer, more than likely you're going to get the red devil. We'll go over that when we start getting the chemo. Besides going over what happens during the chemo, which is, they're going to tell you, like in the beginning, it's about 5 to 6 hours between doctor visit, blood work, having the chemo administered, and then having to stay there. I think it's about, if I remember correctly, I think it was about an hour afterwards to make sure that you didn't have any bad reaction before they're going to let you go home. And we'll go into that in detail on the next part of this. She's also going to tell you that, I guess, one of the more common things that you're going to get during this time is hiccups, which I got. I'd wake up in the middle of the night for no reason at all, just hiccuping. And also heartburn. And they actually gave me some paperwork on that and what you can turn around and you can do, what you can take. Now, I might have had heartburn through this whole thing maybe 4 times. So I have a pill from the doctor, and also I have Tums. So what I would do is I would try the Tums first. If that corrected it, then I wouldn't take the pill. So I'm not one that likes to take a lot of medication. So if I can get by with getting things done with the Tums, I'm all for that. Now the hiccups is a different story. The hiccups, they were a pain in the behind because I never got them during the day. I'd get them in the middle of the night. So I would wake up out of a sound sleep with the hiccups. Now, sometimes the hiccups lasted for 2 or 3 minutes. Sometimes they lasted for a half an hour. Regardless of the fact, once you wake up with the hiccups in the middle of the night, it's going to take you a while, excuse me, to go back to sleep. So that's another thing that happens to you is you get some sleep deprivation when you're going through chemo. So anyway, that's about that. That's there's all kinds of paperwork and all kinds of information that you can get, and ask your doctor or ask your advocate or whatever what they can give you. All right, this one came from the American Cancer Society, and that was in that packet. That's why I don't understand why I have that and I can't find the other package of everything. What they'll also do for you is they'll give you a prescription to get a wig because your hair is going to fall out. I chose not to go for that. I got the prescription, but when you go to the wig shop, I found out from other people that went, when you go to the wig shop, they're usually supposed to measure your head and then have one made for you. But around here, all they do is find a wig that fits your head, and if you like it, that's it. And I've also found out that a wig that I could buy personally somewhere for $40, they would charge $200. And the problem with that, one, they're ripping off the insurance company, and because of that, 9 times out of 10, they refuse to pay for the wig once you have it. And that happened to a couple of people I know. So I did not go for that. And then you've got to fight with them to get the wig. And the problem lies, if you've already put that money out, if they don't finally turn around and give it to you, you're out that money. Money where you probably could have bought 3 wigs for that price. Because the wigs only last you, if you're wearing them, it wasn't bad for me. And I'll tell you, we're going to talk about the wig situation too, which was a very important thing. I got a lot of information I want to share with you on that. If you wear your wig every day, I would say you're going to last between 4 and 6 months. And that's if you take care of your wig. This was in the beginning, we were still pretty good in COVID, and I only went to the doctors, and I don't go anywhere anyway. Even now, I really don't, because I'm still afraid of my immune system. It's getting better, but I still have issues. So, when you're going through this whole ordeal, you don't need to be fighting with the insurance company over paying for a wig. And I honestly think that they kind of count on that you're feeling like crap, and you're not going to turn around and keep fighting and fight. You're just going to say, oh, okay, don't worry about it. But now my one friend, she managed to get paid finally after a year. The other one never got the money reimbursed. So that's one of the things that this lady will do for you. So you can ask, I would try to if you really want to get a wig that way, I would try to get a pre-approval before you take the wig home. So that's one thing. Now they're going to also turn around and try to ease you. When they talk to you during this time, yes, they can't give you a lot of information. They don't want you to have all these things on your mind. Well, this can happen, that can happen. What if this? it's going to kind of overwhelm you and make you more nervous. The most important thing in the beginning of this journey is that you have to keep a good attitude. Um, and if you have a lot of things on your mind of all the different things that can happen to you, it's going to make things a little bit harder. Um, you're going to be waiting for these things to happen. So I think that's another reason why they don't tell you a real lot. They tell you what they really know is going to happen. Is your hair going to fall out? Yes. Um, Pretty much everybody's hair falls out that gets the red devil. The only difference is some people will have, if they don't shave their head, they might have some thinning hair. Um, you're really bald, but you got a few years. Now, my hair was down to my rear end, so I didn't choose to shave my head. I chose to let it happen. And the doctor told me it was going to happen probably sometime between, because you go for your first treatment, then there's 3 weeks in between, and then you go for your second treatment. And he told me it was probably going to happen somewhere around 3 weeks, right about before I start the next treatment, or right after. But that didn't happen to me. So here we go. I went to get my second treatment, and I says to him, I said, I still have my hair. He said, well, you're not going to have it for much longer. And I swear, I went home after that treatment. The very next day, this was the second treatment, the very next day, I was combing my hair and the stuff was coming out in gobs. So I'm sitting here and I'm saying, here we go. And I just, over the course of a couple of days, just resigned myself to the fact that this was going to happen and that it's going to grow back. Now, I like wearing the wigs now. I can get up in the morning. I can put a little makeup on, throw a wig on my head, and I can go out the door, boom, boom, boom. And I have quite a bit of hair now underneath. One of these days I will show you my hair. But like I said previously, my hair isn't growing here. It's growing, it's about an inch. Where other places on my head, it's 3 to 4 inches. So it makes it hard to really do anything with it. Probably once I get to 2 inches, I think I'll go to the hairdresser and have them try to style a little pixie or something. Because I don't wear the wig all the time in the house when I'm here alone. And it would be just nice to be able to put some gel in it and style it and let it go. I was hoping to get this long enough on top that I could do that Billy Idol type thing, a punk rock kind of hairdo. But that ain't going to happen for a while because I just don't have enough hair up there to do that with. So anyway, that's what happens. She's going to, like I said, she's going to explain to you everything that's going to happen when you get the chemo and, while you're there in the building, how it's going to go. And also the most common side effects that you have to look out for after you get it. And it's not a lot, and they don't want to give you a big long list to get you all worried. Their main objective when you're going through this is to keep your body healthy, and more important, keeping your mind healthy. Because if you lose your mind, if you can't deal with this emotionally, you're going to have a hard time staying healthy. And like my doctor always said, that you cannot allow yourself to become the disease. And a lot of people do that. They wallow in what's happening to them. Um, they don't understand why they have to go through this. They have cancer. Cancer's always a big, scary word, and it's an entity that's unknown. You don't know how things are going to turn out. I was given, with the type of cancer that I had, and it being so aggressive, I was given a 65 to 70% chance of being able to get through this alive. And so that was a pretty good odds as far as I was concerned. I just thought about the 65 to 70%. I didn't think about the 30 to 35% that it could go down the other way. I kept the glass half full instead of half empty. And like I said, you can't become the disease, because like now, I lost a lot of weight. I was 152 pounds. I went down, I think, to 123 at the lowest. And I'm at 131 right now. But I still don't have a really good appetite. But I sit back and I thank God for the amount of people that were praying for me, that I was able to keep my head in a good place. And I had an absolutely wonderful support team of doctors, nurses, which made all the difference in the world. And like I said in previous videos, if where you're going doesn't give you that support, maybe it's time to move on to another doctor. The doctor that I have, he knew of the treatment for this particular type of cancer. Like I said, I wasn't a hormone-induced type of cancer. I was the HER2 cancer. So that's a whole different ball game. What I would get as far as chemo is going to be a little bit different than my girlfriend that had the estrogen or the hormone type cancer. And so you can support one another with friends that have the cancer, and you can talk about what you're going through and what they're going through, and it helps. All right. But you can't take into heart what they're going through is what you're going to go through, and vice versa. So anyway, I think I'm going to stop here. The next time that we come back, that's my little Padme, who's still alive, that's not doing real good. I think she doesn't know where she is, and she sits in her bed and barks. Next time we come back, we're going to actually go and I'll explain what the chemo process was. I was actually in a hurry to get over there and start the chemo. And I wanted to get well, because I knew that how fast this thing had grown in my breast over the course of, I think it was 8 days, from when I found it to when I went to the doctors. And by the time I got it out, but started the treatment, how fast it grew. And it went up into my lymph nodes and everything. So I was in a hurry to start the treatment because I wanted to get well. But you have to go through a whole process, and that's what I'm trying to explain to you now. So I'm sorry that this one ran a little longer. I hope that I covered it pretty well. If you have any questions, please don't be afraid to reach out to me if you've been going through it for a while. I mean, I'm still going through it. I actually have 2 more treatments that I have to get. Now I have to go and get my mammograms and everything again. But I actually have 2 more of these Progetta and Herceptin treatments to go, which is what gives me the diarrhea and everything else. So can't wait for them to be finished, and hopefully my body will start to go back to normal. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Uh, and if I can be of any kind of help, or not even just help in answering questions, but some kind of support. Sometimes it just feels good to talk to somebody. And I'll be trying to do the best I can by you. So until next week or so, I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Next week I get my next treatment, and that's on Wednesday. I have to go for an echocardiogram tomorrow, and then like when I go tomorrow, I'm going to make appointments for my mammograms. Hopefully I can get them both done next week. It just doesn't stop, the amount of doctors, but this will be my last echocardiogram, providing it's normal. So, all right, everybody, take care of yourselves. Don't forget to get in touch with me in case you want to chat, and have a good week. And I'll be talking to you. Take care. Bye bye.